Monday night, it's RaceSpotTV. Coming up next is Monday Night Skippys. We're at VIR, and it's going to be a grand show at the Grand West layout. Coming up to you. Welcome back to RaceSpotTV. Monday Night Skippys up here on the cards tonight, and well, our qualifying was rapid, more fast than we thought. That's not even English. We'll move swiftly on to your results for the top 10 right now as the cars take to the grid. Bill Fraser on pole tonight, rapid lap from him at 2:52.460. Simon Edwards, Stuart Adcock, Gordon Ramsay, Mark Mercer in 5th. Paul Thurston, 6th place. Tom Ward back in 7th. Clark Williams, Nicholas Vaughan-Roberts and Matt Cox. Rest of those results up on your screen as we have a 40-car grid for tonight. Rachel, Connery and Linus joining you as always. Hugo behind the dials. Well, Grand West, it's the American version of the Nürburgring, Connery.
Yep, that's basically what it is, except, about quarter of as many corners as the Nürburgring, but still quite a lot of them, around about 29 on the track. In Sim says 26, but either way, we're looking at just short of 3-minute lap times here, so we'll only get 9 laps, but that'll still be quite a considerable race.
Certainly will be. This is like racing at Spa as we sit ready to go. Green flag racing any second now. The engines rev as the music fades and the green flag will fly. It's all perfectly timed here at RaceSpotTV. This was entirely intentional, I promise. As out they go from the starting line. Everyone's single file immediately here. A bit of a congestion back behind them as it looks as though Tim Adcock wanted to get past Darrell Taylor from the Bananas as they spread out into the first corner. And we have contact already. Clark Williams wrapped up in something there in the first corner. And that was out-braking himself there with Paul Thurston just checking up behind, I believe, the car there of Gordon Ramsay. Everyone gets through without any major problems as we head through the first section, Linus.
Yeah, really, really good start. A bit of congestion, but not a single car off the track, more than just a little bit by the looks of it. And it's single file through almost your top 10. And very, very clean start. Bill Fraser is pulling away in the lead, and he will be looking to extend that gap.
I mean, Connery, this is a big problem for Tom Ward here if he wants to try and rekindle his title chances. It's Mark Mercer just up ahead of him, just ahead of Gordon Ramsay, in fact. But Tom Ward has a lot of cars to climb through here. 9 laps to do it in. Not a huge number of passing opportunities from back in the pack. One thing we know is there'll be a fight for the lead. We know that. The draft out front is 0 versus second place, whereas if the car in front of you you're trying to pass has draft from behind, it's really, really hard to make places.
Yeah, probably will be, as Tom Ward, he is the top of the championship standings right now, but only by 3 points back to Stuart Adcock and Bill Fraser. Both of them are in the podium positions right now. Tom Ward will try to make this pass around driver's left of Gordon Ramsay there in that number 39 machine, and coming down onto the brakes into turn number 14 now. This is Madison Avenue, has to go around the outside, gets it into a slide, but he manages to keep it on the grey stuff, but manages to not hold the position as he goes for a trip onto the grass, almost loses it when he comes back on there. And Thurston, he's going to have a chance coming down the spiral.
He's not going to take it though. Thurston's going to be a little bit cautious with this one as, yeah, we talk about this, but Tom Ward only leading by 3 points after, of course, the controversial end to the round last time out at Spa, where Mark Mercer and Tom Ward racing for the win there. Mark Mercer, we're going to, of course, bring up the frailties of online racing here. Mercer timed out halfway through the final lap, unfortunately gifting that one to Tom Ward without a challenge, and that really opened this one up. Of course, points there for Adcock and others, which brought them ahead of Mercer. So this will be an interesting one to see how this one plays back. And Bill Fraser out front here, this is huge for him. His first pole in a long time for him, if not one of the first. And Stuart Adcock in second place right now. Simon Edwards in third. Mercer, Ramsey, and then Ward. This is a very potent top 5.
Yeah, and actually, just going in here, and Paul Sissons just lost another position to Peter Cowan there, as Cowan actually pushes wide through the final corner, and this is just going to allow Paul Sissons back. But the thing is, this is just dropping them off of the lead pack. They will not be getting the draft from anyone ahead of them, and here comes Clark Williams potentially down to turn number 1. In fact, challenge for the race lead. Let's go to that one. Bill Fraser having to defend on the inside from Stuart Adcock. Into 1, into 2 they will go. Adcock still there. He'll have the inside line for what is going to be NASCAR band at turn number 3, and of course left hook at turn number 4 as well, but he will get that position complete, in fact.
Certainly is, and wow, this one's going to be unfolding in quite an interesting manner. The break there between Ward and Thurston in 6th and 7th place is opening up a bit more now. The gap between your top real 6 cars there just pushing away as Adcock's gotten past Bill Fraser on the run to the line. Of course, we'll talk about that big long run and how easy it is to pass there, Linus, and the lead will always change. It's changing again now as they're side by side.
Yeah, this massive draft that Fraser's getting on Adcock now on these long straights is going to put him up ahead, and he's going to clear him before the twist a bit again, but you might have it run back there on Fraser going down the back straight, which we will see in 2 corners. So expect Adcock to be back in the lead within about 20 seconds.
Certainly is, and one thing I'm seeing will make things a bit more challenging, Connery, is there's from practice huge amount of marbles offline here at this race. It's going to make things very challenging for these guys to try and keep momentum going there. As you saw Edwards run wide in Oak Tree Corner, there's really not much opportunity in some of these big fast corners to go wide because there's so many marbles off there.
Yeah, it is potentially an issue because the marbles have been left out there on circuit from practice and qualifying, and of course the initial track state was quite high usage as well, so there's another thing you kind of have to factor in there as Nicholas Vaughan Roberts makes a pass over Thurston coming down into turn number 14, and this pack has already just split off the lead pack here. There's a 6-car lead pack, but then everyone else is just in this second pack. It feels like everyone else is in this second pack. Peter Cowan down the inside, number 99. Simon Maltby coming down into spiral there, and Cowan will gain the position, but he just kind of has to hold it now. Side by side behind though between Stephen McCaffrey and Matt Cox as they head their way down towards 21.
It is indeed, and Vaughan Roberts has gotten past Thurston, which pumps him up to the 7th position there. Thurston down to 8th place, so I've got to look back at our lead group. I think it's flowing nicely up there as a little bit further back in your field. Oh, a problem for one of the drivers. That was, I believe, trying to work out who that was, because it's very hard to spot them from a long distance away.
Anthony Downs.
Number 10. Yeah, Anthony Downs going off the racetrack there. Having some problems, just losing the back end, stepping out onto off the track. He does just that. Unfortunately, that brings him back to pit road. Yeah, unfortunately, end of his race for now, I believe, as towards the leaders. And it's still Bill Fraser out front. Big gap for him. He'll actually hold this lead into turn 1 as he had a huge run out of the final corner there. And it's 4 cars breaking away here as Ramsey and Ward fight behind them. And I believe the 31 having some fun, Connery.
Yeah, this is all the way back through the field. I'm not entirely sure what caused this, but there's a group of cars ahead of the 31 machine. That was Darren Morris there, going quite slow, coming through the final sector, and just Darren Morris took to the grass and spun one of the cars ahead of him. That was Christopher Keeble in number 76, and I'm not sure what happened there exactly.
Didn't look like his fault, really. It looks as though the slow traffic on the racetrack was just pootling along on the racing line, and he was already kind of inside and the door got closed, so unfortunate for him, but I don't really think that's his fault, as he was on the racing line and the car ahead of him just pootling is the only word I can probably use for this. As we'll look back to our lead group, because it's now a foursome. As Tom Ward's dispatched Gordon Ramsay, as Ramsay now trailing that lead group in 5th, or 6th place now, because it's Tom Ward up into the 5th spot. Lead 4 have broken away, Linus. It's now, of course, Fraser, Adcock, Edwards and Mercer. Ward keeps trying to catch up, but he's not making much headway.
No, he was really struggling in practice as well. His fastest practice time was actually over 3, almost 4 seconds behind the other people in this group, and then he somehow managed to get a good qualifying lap. But as you can see, he's fallen back and he's really struggling, as we almost have a 2 wide here for the lead. But I think Adcock is going to stay behind Fraser. He is. So Wood still holding on, but he's really struggling. So I think it's going to be tough for him to get a win in this race.
Sunny is, of course, and well, this one's unfolding quite nicely onto lap number 3 here. We're heading towards the end of this one. And we'll be on to lap number 4, approaching a halfway point already. Now, what's already been feeling like a long race, even though it's only essentially 2.5 laps in at this point, but Tom Ward has caught back up to this group now. That really brings him back into this lead fight here. And we'll see whether he can defend those title points. Of course, Adcock being further ahead right now would see Adcock take the points lead in your championship. Although what Mark Mercer could do, that will be interesting, because he is in a position to get some good points. Of course, if we look at it in the championship sense, Connery, there's drop weeks, so Mark's missed race there isn't going to count. He should be net leading.
Yeah, so that's one we'll have to consider when we get towards the end of the season. But the drop weeks are also going to work in Stuart Adcock's favour as well, because he's actually missed a race entirely at the start of this season, yet he's still in second place in the points, which is an absolutely fantastic effort as Adcock looks towards the run down towards turn number 1. But the thing is, he's got pressure from behind. This is Simon Edwards around the outside. Will we see 3 wide for the race lead? Edwards going to back out of this one, in fact. Allows Adcock to take the outside line around Bill Fraser, your current race leader. Fraser goes deep on the brakes and slides it through the apex. A little bit of a shunt behind, though, between Mercer and Edwards. But Fraser, he's getting a little bit hot-headed now, I guess.
He is indeed. Bidewell out of the race there. Pete Newman, Lewis Cannell, and Alex Greenland didn't have a great race.
No
problems. Yeah, Edwards loses it there. Tom Ward sneaks through the open gap as Mercer slows down to avoid him. And Mark Mercer drops behind Tom Ward there now into 4th place. Ward up to 3rd as he takes advantage with very quick reflexes there, Linus, and snatches 3rd place after the Conkers game we saw in turn 1, where everyone decided to hit each other. And then suddenly that gap opened up and Ward danced through the trouble.
Yeah, I wonder if Edwards might have gotten some sort of damage from any contact earlier, because that looked like a really unusual mistake from him. But what we see now is Bill Fraser and Stuart Adcock breaking away in the lead with quite a big gap down to Tom Ward. So if he gets the draft on the straight, he'll catch back up. Otherwise, this is a 2-way race for the win.
Oh, Tom Ward off.
Oh, Tom Ward's off. And in the barrier.
Yeah, big problems there for Tom Ward. Huge hit for him. That's going to be a retirement we expect based on previous performances. He just carries too much speed, slides off the track, and bonk into the barrier he goes. That car will be damaged, and I don't think it's unreasonable to expect. No, he's carrying on here. Car doesn't look terrible. He's missing his front wing entirely, which will cost him, but that's going to really hurt his racing chances. He's dropped down behind 8th place there, I believe. That's Thurston. Look at the group of cars behind him. Peter Cowan leading this group here with Maltby, Cox, Caffrey, Adcock and Cat in this group. We'll see how badly damaged Ward is. Look at his Cowan attacking brutally there. Ward hasn't got anything. Ward's probably going to retire this car. He cannot maintain race pace. Disaster for your points leader, Tom Ward, winning last week. Is all behind him there. That was, I believe, Matt Cox there that had an issue. It was indeed. Matt Cox tapped up the bum by the number 16 car. That was Simon Maltby. So a bit of an outbreaking moment there as everyone does carry on nicely and respectfully, letting him pass. But this has now moved Mercer back up into 4th, and Tom Ward's really in a points trouble now, because Mercer's now sitting at a podium spot behind Fraser and Adcock. And this leaves him a massive advantage. Yeah, Tom Ward off again. That's probably going to be a retirement. Yeah, he's stopping the car. Tom Ward's retiring. It was a good chance while he had it, but that'll be Tom Ward's day completed, as is Simon Edwards. So this has really whittled down our top group.
Yeah, most of the front pack have quite considerable gaps between them, at least for Skip Barber Racing, so they're not feeling much the effect of the draft off of each other, as I believe that was Tim Adcock having a couple of issues. So he's dropping down the time records. The number 21 car on pit lane, so he had to take a tow from somewhere out there on circuit, but it could be somewhere within the last 3 minutes because of how long these lap times are. So and it did seem to happen quite a while ago, so not a good day for at least one half of the Adcocks, but the other one currently running P2.
Yes, indeed. And it was an engine problem there for Tim Adcock, so unfortunately his Williams won't pop. That Williams has been running for a very, very long time. As up front now, the gap's really widening here. Bill Fraser has about a second and a half there over Stuart Adcock. Mark Mercer back another second and a half from Stuart Adcock. And behind them, Ramsey about another second back. So really broken up there at the front. This has brought Paul Thurston back up to 6th place. He could be looking at a top 5 here with any further problems. But it's Vaughan Roberts ahead of him. Clark Williams behind as issues there for Peter Cowan. No, I believe it's a lap car just ahead of them actually. But Vaughan Roberts there just catching this group here with Gordon Ramsay. So there could be some interesting racing still to come. Could Thurston see a top 5? We know he likes the long tracks like the Nürburgring, and VIR Grand West clearly one of those tracks appealing to his style.
Yeah, it really is, and well, we'll see this. A couple of these groups close up definitely by the time the end of this race starts to arrive. We're over the halfway point already here, and well, battling for P number 9 out there on circuit. P number 8, in fact, Matt Cox versus Peter Cowan down in towards 14. It seems like the favoured overtaking spot for a lot of these drivers at the end of the very long back straight here at VIR between Oak Tree Corner and Madison Avenue, but Peter Cowan will manage to defend that position from Matt Cox when all is said and done. But behind this pair, there's Simon Maltby, Anthony Catt, Stephen McCaffrey, and Darrell Taylor, all having a bit of a scrap as well, just outside the top 10.
Yeah, they certainly are there, as this is completely opened up, but we are really paying attention here to issues. It seems like Mark Mercer having a bit of a slow day at the moment, being chased here by Gordon Ramsay. And this is the battle for 3rd, of course, as Ramsay catching up to Mercer. Has Mercer got some damage from any of those contacts? I don't think he does. The car's looking okay. Front wing, that's a VIR thing though. Pretty much everybody, if you look at them, has a damaged front wing. It's a curb thing. Ramsay has dropped back, and it could be nothing, but we'll keep our eyes on this one. That has potential to be interesting. As Clark Williams here catching Paul Thurston. It's the battle for 6th place. Williams coming on very strong in the draft there. Nothing Thurston could do in terms of defence. And all he can do is hold the inside line. It's proved a very good defensive line so far, but no! Deep braking there by Williams to try and go around the outside. Doesn't quite hold it. Thurston has the outside now. Will this mean Clark Williams takes the next corner? It does. Thurston just tucks back in place in 7th. He will be compliant, it seems, but that won't be over just yet. Another run here by Gordon Ramsay on Mercer. Seems like Mercer's okay in the faster corners, but struggling a little in the tighter sections, Linus.
Yeah, I don't know really what sort of damage these guys have from the earlier contact. It wasn't much contact, but it doesn't take much for these cars to get damage, and he's holding on for now, but Ramsay's closing in on the draft again, coming up to the twist a bit. He's going to have to lift off because you can't really go side by side through here, but he's going to be all over that 3rd place until he gets it.
He certainly is, and wow, this will make for an interesting battle here. Mark Mercer need those points very badly as they come up here to Oak Tree. Will just be a chance for Ramsay now in the draft straight. Has to be a good corner for Mercer. He gets it right. Nicely done. We'll see whether that will unfold, because here comes Gordon Ramsay. Will this be rare or well done? We'll have to find out. As I'm not going to avoid cooking puns with Gordon Ramsay. It's impossible. I don't know any other way to explain it. Looks for the inside line. No. Closed off by Mercer. Interesting defensive move there by Mark Mercer. Just slamming down there and just not really giving him any opportunity to make that one work. But he had the right to take the line. He wasn't overlapped at that point. So fair enough move by Mark Mercer. But he is looking under threat now, and the gap is opening to Adcock. And here comes as well, this is how much slower he is. Look at this. Vaughan Roberts catching Ramsay, which is just probably exactly what Mercer wants, Linus. He wants him to catch up, so there's more of a fight now to defend as well as attack.
yeah, if Von Roberts has, if Ramsey has people to look at from behind as well, he's not going to be able to be as aggressive toward Mark Mercer, and that's going to give him a little bit easier task. But the time when Ramsey gets up next to him, he's running the risk of losing 2 spots, so Mercer obviously wants to back him up to Von Roberts, but at the same time he doesn't really want to make a mistake then, as he is going to stay ahead. Looked like Ramsey was going to make a move, but he didn't, and Mercer has pulled a bit of a gap again.
He has. Mark Mercer opens that gap up a slightly bit more, but there'll be a real opportunity here for Ramsey to sail past in the final straight. We'll see if there's a top-end speed issue. It seems like Mark Mercer's been okay in the faster corners. The last corner's a fairly quick one here. On to lap 7 it will be. We'll have 3 more laps to complete here at VIR. And closing the inside door there, Mark Mercer defends against Ramsey. And Ramsey hasn't quite got enough speed to get past, so the high-end speed is fine for Mercer. As, Von Roberts goes very wide, loses some time there behind them. Coming through now, we'll see if he's got more issues. It does seem to slow corners. Could be a suspension issue, possibly, for Mark Mercer here, Connery, because he does seem to struggle in slower corners rather than the fast ones. And this is something that's happened since those contacts we saw a few laps ago.
Yeah, it could possibly be, but the thing is, if there is any damage, it's only very slight. I'm flicking between all the cars now, and I'm just not noticing anything that's much different to Mark Mercer's suspension than everyone else's, so it must be a slight, maybe wheel knocked out of alignment very, very slightly that's causing a bit of an issue in slow speed corners, or it could just be the fact that Ramsey is just flat out faster in slow speed corners. That could also be an issue as well. We're not used to seeing Ramsey, this far up the field, so he's running very, very well indeed. P4 qualifying, P4 in this race event so far, but looking for those podium decisions. Coming up in towards Oak Tree Corner now. You can make it side by side through here, or you can just wait and set up your run for the back straights. And Von Roberts now on the back of this pair, so Ramsey needs to get this move done relatively quickly, otherwise he's going to come under threat from behind. Here you go, he has the run and early inside line taken for Mark Mercer, but that might be in vain with the amount of overspeed that Ramsey has around the outside. He has to complete the move on the brakes here, and he's still a gap there for Mark Mercer, and he leaves the door open for Mercer to try and slot his way through, but Ramsey will get himself up into P number 3, if only for a moment. Mercer's still there, still trying to fight.
He is, but he hasn't got really an opportunity there. Inside line secured by Ramsey into the now slow speed section up here, which has probably been Mercer's biggest undoing. Now Ramsey's clear. Well, we see him break away. He's getting a bit slidey there. Ran a bit wide. Oh, that's cost him on speed. He ran wide on the marbles there on the outside. Slow speed corners has been his advantage, but wow, Mercer really backing up there. Not sure what. Maybe he's having brake issues, I think, because the faster corners where you're just lifting off the throttle, Connery, he's fine on. But you saw there, entering the S's, he wavered on the brakes in somewhere where you really shouldn't be braking a huge amount. It was a quick left, right, left on the wheel, but it seems like Mark Mercer might be having some sort of brake actuator issue. Something in his braking system isn't working properly. Obviously, in real terms, his brake pedals aren't functioning because he does seem to be a little bit off there.
Yeah, it's definitely one area that he is suffering, but we might get that one confirmed after the race if Mark Mercer does decide to turn up for his interviews.
Oh, that's unlikely.
Yeah,
come on, be realistic. No one comes for interviews. Anyway, here we go. Mark Mercer having a chance to first strike back here at Gordon Ramsay. Will he have an opportunity? It's not looking good. He's just not quite close enough to make the draft pass, and you'll lose a lot of that time here. Look at him braking very early there. Von Roberts goes wide. Mercer comes through the corner. It does seem like he's braking super early as well. I'm kind of surprised by that, as you can see there on Ramsey's car, front wing damage as well. Von Roberts has the same, so that's just an issue of VIR's curbs. This does happen sometimes, as Ramsey's struggling to try and maintain that speed there. Mercer catching up now, so could have just been a lead car in the draft situation of him looking weaker, because the gap to Adcock is, well, it has dropped off considerably there. It's more like 4 seconds now up the road. They've lost 2 seconds in that run, as Mercer's still here. In fact, he's catching, so I think it was more of a case of the draft was super strong here, Connery, and that just gave Gordon Ramsay the appearance that he was faster, and now he's got a shark behind him, and the shark's hungry.
Yeah, could well be, but this has been an absolutely fantastic race for Ramsey so far. Getting himself inside that top 5 is a feat on its own, but inside the top 3 is an absolutely exemplary effort as well. As there's someone off, Adcock's off ahead at Oak Tree Corner. He's had an incident.
Big problems. Yeah, we'll have a quick replay on that one. Stuart Adcock with issues here And it's exactly where Tom Ward went off too. Runs wide in exactly the same place, right in the middle of the Oak Tree corner double apex. It taps the barrier. Not very hard. He manages to kind of just stop it and turn around and rejoin, but he's lost ground even to Thurston there, who will move his way up now, and Clark Williams. So this will be interesting to see whether that one recovers, because that's just massively opened this up. Here we go. Mercer here on Ramsey, heading up towards Madison. Look to the outside. We know his brakes haven't been great. No, he's going to stay behind. But he is closer this time through. We'll see if he can carry us through to the last corner, Linus, because if he's this close at the last corner, the draft pass opportunity is right there for him, and it'll be on to the final lap. So it could be a secure position if he can hold it for one lap. But we'll have to see what the rest of this one unfolds.
Yeah, it looks though as if Ramsey is just slightly quicker here in this last little bit, so Mercer will have to pass him earlier, what I think, and he's also going to have to watch out for Vaughan Roberts, who's now got a podium position inside, as we see Mercer messing that corner up just a little bit, but he keeps it going, and that's going to give Ramsey a little bit more of a gap.
It is, but Ramsey and Mercer are closer than they were last time. Mercer got a good run through the S's there, better than he had in a while, but he just loses a bit of speed there. Here we go, down to the roller coaster section from the normal lap. And this is where Mercer tends to have been a little stronger, recovered some time in the faster corners. And he's doing just that. The gaps look pretty equal. A little bit more gap for Ramsey, but these final corners will be very telling. On to the final lap now, and I am on replay once again, as is what happens on Monday Night Skippys. Apparently, I tend to get up on replay for some reason, watching Stuart Adcock's issue. But Roberts cooks it there, and so does Ramsey a little bit, because here comes Mercer coming back here to try and fight for what will be second place at the end of this thing. Stuart Adcock is chasing Paul Thurston. Could Thurston keep him behind him? That would be very interesting. And Fraser is dropping back to them. Has he run out of fuel? Or has he just run out of puff without anyone to really chase him and maintain his pace? But Bill Fraser looks like he's saving fuel. That could be very interesting. Yeah, he could be saving fuel here, because I think he looks like he's saving. And look at this, Mercer right on top of Ramsey, more so than he has been all race long. Does he smell a race win at this point? Has he just detected something the others have not and switched on overdrive? Because Mark Mercer is all over Gordon Ramsay here. What we see in Oak Tree Bend, which has been the undoing of Stuart Adcock and Tom Ward, will everyone make it through here without pressure? That's the interesting part. Okay, so Fraser gets through no problem. Very close here for Mercer and Ramsey. This could be good for Mercer. Has he got an opportunity now? Will he be able to make a move here on Gordon Ramsay into Madison? That could be massive for him. Look at the gap. Look at the closing distance. He has an opportunity. If not now, it might be as well. On the front stretch, he goes to the outside. Outside has been successful. This requires good braking to make the outside work as he gets the line. Holds it, but doesn't quite. Can he just undercut him? No, he can't. Gets loose. Nearly gets Vaughan Roberts there into the action as back comes Bill Fraser ahead of him. Oh, he must be close on fuel. He is saving heavily. The gap is coming down so fast as we come through here to the end of this lap. Who will win this race? Will it be Bill Fraser, Gordon Ramsay, Mark Mercer, or Nicholas Vaughan Roberts? No one knows at this point. This one is definitely widening up in terms of our expectations, but I hope Bill Fraser comes in for a chat to tell us what happened on this last lap and how much time he lost. But he might be able to hold on to this. I think he just about has it. Up towards the roller coaster now, and I think it's going to stay in the same order. Something's telling me this won't change, as Gordon Ramsay's had a fantastic run in this one. Now down to the roller coaster section. The gap's ever smaller. Stuart Adcock got past Paul Thurston and Clark Williams. He's moved himself up to the 5th place there. Bill Fraser's going to hang on. Out of the final corner he comes. Unless he runs out of fuel now, he's got this one in the bag. Gordon Ramsay and Mark Mercer, it's close, but it's going to be no cigar as Bill Fraser wins at VIR Grand West. Gordon Ramsay and Mark Mercer, your podiums. A fantastic nail-biter there to the very end of this race. Vaughan Roberts crossing the 4th spot. Stuart Adcock in 5th. Paul Thurston with a very respectable 7th place in that one. That was a great race we saw tonight, guys. And Linus, wow, they kept us guessing.
Yeah, that could have turned out very interesting, and it's going to be real interesting to see what was wrong with this car, but fairly spread out at the end anyway, but still some good racing all the way through. So
yes, he was. 361 has crashed on the end of the lap, and unfortunate there for Jack Hobbs. He comes across the line down the running order somewhat. That was in the final corner, actually. He had a bit of an incident. It was all in his own. He got wide, lost the back end and came around, hit the barriers, but he'll carry on. Jack Hobbs will come across in the end in the 19th place. So without further ado, we'll go to your post-race results. Win today goes to Bill Fraser with a fantastic run to the end there with what looked like a lot of fuel saving for him. Gordon Ramsay second place, Mark Mercer in third, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts in fourth. Stuart Adcock fifth place with Clark Williams, Paul Thurston, Anthony Catt, Matt Cox and Peter Cowan in 10th. Behind that, Simon Maltby, Stephen McCaffrey, Robert Plumley, Anthony Jones, James McRitchie, Simon Askew, Bod Boland, Dave Kirkman, Jack Hobbs and Barry West in 20th. Rest of the results on your screen. Connery, VIR Grand West. It is really America's Nürburgring, because that was a very Nürburgringy race.
For whatever your definition of a Nürburgring race is there, Rachel, but...
drawn out long, and the passing is temperamental at best.
I think it'd be a little bit of a... I think you're being a bit too mean there.
It's fine, because I dislike both tracks.
Well, that is Rachel's opinion, but ignoring that, shall we say, I thought that race was a pretty good one, especially with the issues that Bill Fraser might have been having at the end of that race with potential fuel issues. But of course, it also may have been slowdown penalty. We could go and back and have a look exactly what might have happened. But good run, fantastic run, in fact, for Gordon Ramsay, getting himself up into P number 2, second step on the podium. And also a good run as well for Paul Thurston in P number 7. You've got other names down the field. Stephen McCaffrey finishing P number 12. Good result for him as well. But in terms of big movers, there's going to be Robert Plumley bringing himself up from P20 to P number 13. So a good run for a good couple of drivers out there.
Certainly has been. Well, it has been a great one tonight, and I don't think we're seeing anyone turning up for their interviews, of course. They will arrive the second we go off air, which is as they do, but as if to save the day, the Superman himself, El Capitan, the maestro of the cup of tea, Paul Thurston, comes in with his teammate Barry West. Two of the bananas do make a bunch in this case. Barry came home in 20th. Hey, you finished a race, Barry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. I hadn't done any practice at all in this one, and yeah, I just thought I'd try and keep out of trouble, and it worked. I caught Tony's back, so I lost my front wing, just turned Tony Stack round at Oak Tree, and I was just trying to get a run on him to go up the straight, and it was just a lot slower than I was going that corner. I just couldn't brake in time, but apart from that, yeah, I had fresh air then, and it was easy sailing. I mean, can't ask for any more than the personal best in qualifying and the fastest lap in the race for me, so yeah, I'll go along with that, seeing I did no practice.
A jolly good race for you. Certainly a great one indeed, and we'll talk to your teammate really quick, Paul Thurston. At 6th, 7th place today, I think it was at the end, and a very busy race for you, racing with some of the big boys.
Yeah, it makes a change, doesn't it? I seem to be quick this week in practice on officials. I was, I think, second only to Simon, but most of that was because most of the fast boys didn't actually bother to practice. But I got I got a decent quali in. 6th. I'm certainly probably my best qualification for ages, probably since the Ring a few seasons back. And just decided to keep it clean. The guys behind, once they got a run, they were quicker than me in race pace, so I wasn't going to battle them particularly. A couple of the fast boys went off, and you know, I managed to keep them behind. Stuart went off penultimate lap, but he wanted to get by through the S's on the last lap, so I wasn't really going to get in his way. He stuck his car right alongside me, basically. I had a choice. We could go into the S's together and hit each other, or we could both get through. So as I let him through, I thought I might be able to drag myself up to the guy in front, but no, there wasn't. It wasn't quite enough there. But nice. Yeah, that's a really good fun race. This season seems to be feast or famine. It's either trash it or get top 10. So well, makes it interesting.
Did indeed. He got a top 10. He qualified in 6th as well, beating Tom Ward as well, the points leader as of last round. So certainly a good one for you there, but we'll wrap things up for tonight. As always, you can join us same time next week, folks. It's been Rachel, Connery and Linus, along with Hugo Luis on the cameras. It's been a great one here at VIR West Grand West, something along the lines of Grand. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.